The following is a presentation of Muddy River News.
Kelly's has been a fun place to eat and drink in Quincy since 1982. A fun and friendly atmosphere, food with flavor, homemade cinnamon rolls, and famous cheese soup, the best menu in town. Kelly's, 2902 Broadway, Quincy.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Muddy. I'm Ashley Conrad. Joining me today, Patty McIntosh with the Pike County Health and Wellness Foundation. Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be with you.
It's great to have you here. So we were just kind of talking off camera because I want to make sure that I fully understand it. The initiatives, the resources, you and this organization, which is a non-for-profit, provide so much. I guess the resources, but also a foundation of providing health and wellness opportunities for everyone in Pike County, which of course covers a broad spectrum.
It does indeed. We've been functioning since 2003 to provide a resource for funding for both startup and existing initiatives that serve the health and wellness needs of Pike County, and that covers a broad scope. In our mission, we state physical, mental, social, and physical. So just a broad encompassing any aspect of a health requirement or need.
Right. And you do that in a very sound way, at least in my mind. So you don't just go out and say, oh, well, I think this group needs, right? They need the help. You do it in a way that you put some thought behind it, you put some facts behind it, and you use statistics to help you guide, the organization to help everyone as a whole, right?
Yes, exactly. Those needs have certainly changed over the course of the last 20 years, but we use science and statistics as well as anecdotal to help inform us in that decision. So, there are certainly published statistics through the CDC, through state resources, and we have a lot of great local entities like the Pike County Health Department and others that have to use and function off of statistics. As well, we have a volunteer board, that generally over the last 20 years has encompassed individuals who represent the county. So they live throughout the county, and they bring forth what they're seeing in their localities. So we look at that. And then when our applicants come to us, they're representing needs. And as well, we've had the opportunity to participate in many community collaborations where we get to hear from the local health providers and resources throughout the county that express what they're seeing and what their needs are. So it's very much so when we actually come to the table and look at the applicants we get or begin to discuss where we're seeing the needs, we're bringing a lot of data to the table with us,
right,
to help inform those decisions. And we view that as very significant because as a group of individuals, we can't begin to know what all is happening, what's the most pressing.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned applicants. So you do have grants, right? You have grant programs, that vary in the amounts or the caps of funding.
Correct.
But they are available to certain groups and individuals, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and those grants are varying for a reason, and that's a deliberate decision on our part. So the smallest of our grants is an immediate response grant, which is not a competitive grant. It can be applied for at any time throughout the year. And it's just what it represents. So if an entity, an organization has something that comes up that's essential to their operation, that was unforeseen, that was unbudgeted, they can apply for us at any time throughout the year. It does have a funding cap. It's a modest funding cap of about $3,500.
You get a lot done for that, though, right?
Yes, you
can.
You know,
Absolutely.
Honestly, you can.
Yeah.
I mean, there's oftentimes very unforeseen things that happen. Then we have two other grant programs that are much larger in scope. Those are competitive, and being competitive, that means you apply for them, and our board reviews them and makes funding decisions based on the ones that we feel are the most pressing, that will have the greatest impact, and oftentimes impact the greatest amount of individuals. And those the call for proposals begins in late summer, and then funding decisions are made in October.
Gotcha.
So those are more deliberate, and those have a funding cap that exceeds at the end around $15,000 in a 12-month period. So those are more transformative ultimately and have the greatest impact. And the largest of those grants, our Health Catalyst grant, is multi-year. So that may go up to a term of 3 years.
Wow.
Because it's going to be that larger in scope. And many times, if you're implementing a new program per se, you can't. It's going to take more than 1 year to do it, or 3 years, and then it becomes self-sustaining.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, and you've been making, no doubt, a huge impact in Pike County for over 20 years. Is that right?
We're in our 20th year of serving Pike County.
And how did this come about? How did you bring this to fruition?
Well, many people may recall that back for many years, and still exists, Illini Community Hospital was an independent local hospital. And back in early 2000s, they began having discussions about going in with another hospital, and they did so with Blessing Care Corporation. And that was finalized in 2003. The then hospital board determined that they would, with the resulting assets from that transaction, that they would create an independent foundation that would solely serve the health needs of Pike County. And thus, it was then called the Illini Community Healthcare Foundation. We later changed the name to Health and Wellness Foundation of Pike County as a deliberate thing, partly because wellness is much more than health care.
Sure.
Which we all know, because it's a whole different aspect of health.
Right.
And so thus the foundation was created back in 2003, 2004 to serve that purpose. And it was the intention at that point in time, so with those resulting assets, the foundation was created. And I remember at the time the goal was that we function in perpetuity to provide and enable organizations that either the entities might be outside of Pike County. So there's many resources here in Adams County and other areas that provide services in Pike County, or there are entities in Pike County. So we fund those things that solely serve the residents or those seeking services in Pike County with services or programming.
Yeah. Excellent.
So, and we've been functioning doing that just since that time.
That's amazing. So, and I'm going to go ahead and give you some props here, which you probably, maybe you're a little too humble, but you've been the director of this organization since its conception, right?
I have.
Yes.
I have.
And so it is for Pike County, but you don't reside in Pike County. So thank you so much for traveling all this way.
I don't right now.
Okay.
I don't right now.
Yeah.
I did for a period of time and have a great love for Pike County and the citizens
and a
of Pike
connection.
County, and feel very committed to Pike County. And I feel very honored to be able to serve Pike County in this way. It's just been a wonderful experience, and we continue to look for ways to meet the needs. I can tell you some of the projects we did early on, the focus has changed tremendously. The needs have changed so much.
Oh, yeah.
And even as recent as post-COVID, the needs have really changed. In the last 3 years, one of our focuses has really been on mental health in Pike County.
Right.
There are we look at guidelines from the CDC and looking at their priorities from some of the projects that they and the evaluations that they look at, and mental health is constantly in one of their top issues.
Sure, absolutely.
And not just necessarily for school-age kids, but on up the spectrum.
Yeah.
And so we try, we have focused on that. As a matter of fact, we're in a 3-year program that we have funded for the mental health centers of Western Illinois to provide mental health resources in 3 of the school districts for Pike County. So we are funding those resources to be able to be in those schools.
Yeah.
We feel it's just that important.
Yeah.
Our board is very focused on how to stay abreast of those needs, what's the most relevant, and we're really working at finding the most effective and meaningful ways to address those needs.
Right.
So consequently, we collaborate extensively and have developed ongoing long-term partnerships with providers within Pike County, agencies and organizations within Pike County and outside of Pike County
Sure.
to do that.
Right.
And we share very good relationships to be able to understand and go to them and get their perspective on how we can do that.
Excellent. Love it. For every stage of life, and through
Yes.
every
Absolutely.
on every kind of spectrum within the health and wellness orb, right? You do it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
that's
can
great.
remember early on in the life of the foundation, one of our board members came to us and said, and I think it was when the technology was just becoming more popular, the automated electronic defibrillators. And they said, wouldn't it be great if all the schools had those? I don't really think they do. And talked to some of the schools, and they didn't. And so we bought an AED for every school building in Pike County. And it was a wonderful thing to be able to do. And a very modest thing, quite honestly, to be able to do.
Sure.
And so now to look forward and to be moving to where we're putting school counselors in the schools,
Right.
or mental health
Sure.
providers, is light years away from where we began.
Yeah.
But quite honestly, that's how things have evolved. Although I would say we continue to fund and have done intermittently throughout our lifespan of funding and providing financial resources to the food pantries that exist in Pike County.
Right. Yeah, because it's under the health and wellness umbrella, for sure.
And the need has continued to
Yeah.
expand.
Right. Yeah. And
saddest to say.
it is. Yeah. It is, and I don't think that's ending anytime soon. Of course, I mean, I think we just, unfortunately, there does seem to be a greater need on every and whether it's physical, mental, food insecurities, whatever that is, and it all kind of goes hand in hand. So to be able to look at all of it from a 10,000 foot view perspective, as well as on a ground level, that's very important.
Well, when you have a food insecurity rate of 10.3%, it's not the highest in the state, but we also are in a food desert.
Right.
We're one of the counties in Illinois that has a food desert, meaning we don't have enough access to food and food resources. And that is a much smaller county list in Illinois.
Right.
And so there again, the food pantries come into play for those families as well. So
Right.
It's great to want to do the fabulous and wonderful projects that are innovative and so forth, but you cannot ignore the basic needs that families experience.
Right. That builds the foundation for comprehensive health, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, so if someone were interested in, and maybe they don't understand how the grants work, or if they're interested in learning more about the grant programs and how they can apply, how would they do that?
Absolutely. Well, several ways.
Okay.
They can go to our website. All of our grant applications, as well as our health scholarship applications, are downloadable there,
Okay.
and full explanations. That being said, they can email me at ICHCF at AOL.com,
Okay.
or they can call the foundation office at 217-285-6080. I like to tell all of our applicants, or those that may reach out considering applying, I wish I could tell you how many times I get a call and says, I've never applied before and I just don't know how to do that. I tell them my role is to assist you to do that.
Right.
I don't make a voting decision. I'm a non-voting member of the foundation. The board makes all our funding decisions. My role is to help you submit the best application you can. I know how to do this, and I'm willing and very welcoming and hoping to help you submit best application you can.
Yeah.
So I'm more than, and I have many times worked with individuals or organizations to do that.
Excellent.
It is a skill. Most organizations don't have that skill.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of them are probably starting out. A lot of them
Oh,
just, don't
absolutely.
even know that the resources exist.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So you're the resource to help them get the resources. I love it.
Exactly.
Yes. Perfect.
Exactly.
Patty McIntosh, thank you so much for coming in and chatting with me.
It's
and
my
good luck.
pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Yeah. Good luck with
Well,
everything you do. This
we'll be
is
doing
great.
some celebrations in the upcoming year, and making some, having some fun things to talk about with
Excellent.
our 20th year. So thank you
Excellent.
for
We'll make
having
sure you
us.
come back. I'd love to talk to you again.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Patty. Coming up next, Britt B and Ash C and Coffee Talk. Stay tuned.
Instant Replay is your local sports bar. With 18 big screen TVs, we have all the sports packages from college games to pro games. We offer daily drink specials, and come check out the Bullpen, our newly renovated beer garden. Instant Replay, 2739 Chestnut in Quincy.
Are you looking for the perfect venue for your next special event? Check out Utopia Event Center. Utopia has a large banquet room and an awesome bar area, perfect for anything from birthday parties to formal corporate meetings. It also offers a photo booth, stage for a DJ or a live band, and a fully stocked bar, all for only $300. Check us out at utopiaeventcenter.com or call Barn at 217-430-6559 for more information. Utopia Event Center, 900 North 12th Street in Quincy.
Tower Pizza and Mexican offers a full menu of pizza, wings, and Mexican favorites. Try the shrimp tacos, fajitas, or a Jeff's special pizza. Extra sauce, pepperoni, sausage, ham, and mushrooms, all on their homemade crust. Tower Pizza and Mexican, 2701 Broadway, Quincy.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
And welcome back. Now it's time for Coffee Talk with Ash C and Britt B. What's up, Britt B?
How are you?
Fantastic. So, fantastic. That might be a stretch, but I think everybody kind of is going through maybe even like the winter doldrums, or maybe it's more significant, mental health. I was just talking to Patty McIntosh. Mental health is a big topic of discussion across the board. I don't know if it's because more people are aware, because more people are affecting more things are affecting our mental health, or that it's just more okay to talk about it.
I think it's
All of the above?
Yeah, a ladder of it all.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I've noticed lately, and something that I was reading up on, was in regards to your mental health, and I am guilty of this myself, getting stuck in the black hole of Reels.
Reels, TikTok, Snapchat, anything that just keeps you going distracted.
Yeah.
Right?
So real quick, what a reel is, just in case you don't know, it's like a short. It's a short video. These can be, like she said, she listed the different social media platforms that they're on. I think it kind of originated a little bit with TikTok, and then all the social media platforms kind of took to this because they realized this is
it started with Vines.
Oh,
if you
well,
remember
yes.
that.
I love,
because that's old.
Yes.
But,
But Vine didn't take off the way TikTok did.
No, because
So,
it wasn't distracting enough, I feel.
I think you had to put a little more effort behind it.
Yeah.
But the TikTok, what we've heard Randy Phillips say time and time again, is it's just like a content creator. Like it's a little mini computer,
Yeah.
It can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. Again, Reels, they're little short videos. These can consist of these lists are popular ones, challenges, before and afters, how-tos, tutorials, educational content. The story time one is a big one. I liked that one.
Yeah. Crime. There's all
that
kinds.
Bailey Saran, who she does her makeup while
telling you crime, like a crime story, true crime.
Yes.
Yeah.
The jump cuts and the skits.
Yeah.
So
and it doesn't. So just real quick, it doesn't just randomly give you stuff. If you stop for a second longer on a certain video, the algorithm creates this, like the brain says, oh, Ashley must like DIY. So I'm going to show her more of that. So it is a little brain inside of your device that isn't just randomly spitting videos at you. It's saying, oh, well, she must like this.
They're trying to suck you in.
And then you get more of it. Well, mission accomplished, because it works. And I don't think we're the only ones that it works for. I know that for a fact. Anyway.
Well, it's taking over.
Yeah.
It's okay, so short form social media. This does increase, your screen addiction time, and it decreases our attention span time. And then we found with this, it squanders our precious time, because you get lost in it. And I guess it sounds all bad, like it's destructive to our mental health because it's isolating. You get sucked in, you hear people time and time again, I just didn't leave my bed for hours because I did this, this, and this. So what's the benefit, I guess? Like, what is the good thing from Reels? I guess it would be if you found something that you liked and you focused on it.
Right.
So instead of getting stuck in those reels that does feed you the random, you search for something and you learn for something. I just came from an interview with a gal. I'll have a story later on it. And she basically told me how TikTok kind of influenced her to figure out the calling that she had. I mean, basically it took her out of the depression that she was in.
Right.
And then connected her with the right people. But in doing so, she had to focus on a certain thing. I don't really want to reveal
we don't
what my
blow
thing
it.
is.
Yeah. But that's a sneak peek, and it is going to be so interesting. We'll leave it at that. But I think so. The benefit of so there's like doom scrolling, which is like, oh, I just don't have anything else to do. I'm trying to distract myself. I like looking at all of the doom and gloom. Makes me feel better about my life, but in turn, it kind of affects your mental health. But then there is the bright side that it does have the potential to broaden your horizons. It's just what you do with it once you turn your phone off. Like I'm very much addicted to DIYs. Like my whole algorithm is DIY, whether it's furniture refinishing, planting your own garden, growing your own whatever it may be, raising your own animals, doing, so it's everything DIY, self-preparing for doomsday, if you will, right? Like all of these things, it's like, okay, my algorithm says this gal likes to get it done. When in reality, this gal is not getting anything done because I'm like, I've tried the DIY multiple times. And I've also seen something online that's like, why buy it for $4 when I can spend 8 hours and $750 to make it myself? That sums it up for me.
That's
right?
like the growing of the tomatoes for the Midwest people.
Why do it? You could just go buy them for very, very cheap. But I do like the idea, and I love watching other people do it because I just keep thinking one of these days I'm going to have inspiration and bust out my own nightstand with, who knows what.
Whatever you can figure out. Yeah, yes. I do. Again, I like it too. I think a suggestion, like I said, focus. Maybe put a timer on your actual phone so you don't get lost in the black hole.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's my, I guess, algorithm, though, is showing me something different because I think I get lost in the OnlyFans reels. Yeah. I don't know why they go through. I mean, probably because I clicked on something sometimes. So
yeah, if you wait just an extra long second on them, they're like, oh, she likes to see these OnlyFans.
Yeah. I know everything about Roxy Styles.
Okay.
Her entire life.
All right.
It wasn't necessarily like the content that she puts out that like is
not the
intriguing
sexy
me.
stuff.
No, it's the lifestyle of her. She also like goes into things about she likes to stir the pot a little bit, and like if somebody is yelling at her for contact, like their husband did, subscribe to her or something, she will call them out and make a reel of it. Yeah. And so I'm just like, oh, I love this. Yeah. I can't stop watching this. I don't know. Yeah. It's she is an interesting character. Well, there's a lot of interesting characters on OnlyFans. It's real quick because I was telling somebody else this. OnlyFans isn't just.
It's not just sexy.
There's lots of people on there that just do outside of the sexy content.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that doesn't sell as much, but I mean, it's an interesting thought that you make your own platform like that, and it's probably cheaper to do that than get your own LLC or start anything on your own.
Well, and cheap is one thing, but making money is another. And you've seen stories in the news, and we've talked about them, that, you see these people who are so tired of the daily grind and working for someone else who doesn't appreciate them, and they're not making any money and they're not making any impact, and they're getting they're just not feeling fulfilled. Then they do this OnlyFans thing. It's just kind of a, hey, let me try this, and it turns out to be very fruitful and
empowering,
and they, people tune in, such as yourself, because it's not just about the boobs or the butt or it's interesting to see who these people are, or how they portray themselves online. And it's kind of the IDGAF, right?
Yeah.
It's like, here I am, take me or leave me. And it's very empowering and also inspirational, even if you don't really like the sexy content or what it's doing, to your husband, which I would yell at him instead. But it is, I think it's the way of the world today. When you offer people an opportunity to take their own destiny in their own hands, why wouldn't they do it?
Yeah.
Right?
It's very intriguing. It sucks me in. It is, I guess, like the new soap operas.
Yeah.
Like, we had soap operas when we were little. Now we have reels. So
Yeah.
as long as you can, only
dig yourself out of that black hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of black holes.
These black holes, and I got a frickin' story for you. Okay.
Apparently it's pothole season.
All right. So not only, and somebody posted something, I think it was Tanner on Facebook, and I was like, they're bad when you chip a tooth and blow a tire. That is not...
Like that really happened?
Well, I mean, not in total truth. It did. So I did chip my back tooth in the Kohl's parking lot because there's a black hole out there that will take you to another dimension. I am not even kidding. But no, so I was driving around town. I'll mention it, on 18th Street, and hit a pothole. And evidently I had a chip in my window because now there's a
crack
across my windshield. Oh. So I know it's been a joke of, okay, we pay taxes on our cars, we pay taxes on our roads, we pay taxes on, the services, but we're still dealing with. So who's paying for this crack? Who's paying for the chip out of my window?
I know that some people, I know of some people that will actually take it to the level of
litigation.
Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, something happened to me, let me find someone to sue. But this is BS.
Yeah, because like you just said, you pay taxes on this, and this already.
Yeah, and here's my thing. I understand that winter and, expansion and the science behind potholes. I do understand some of it, not all of it. Let's be clear here. But I also know that when you redo roads, potholes are less likely. Why is it that we're just continually patching these shit-ass roads and being taxed to oblivion?
I have no idea. And then yeah.
Like, you can't Band-Aid something over and over and over again and expect it to go
then
away.
It's just, and then you're just filling it and letting people drive over it right afterwards. It's like, I don't know. I don't know how it works, but
I don't either. Maybe we need to ride around on the pothole truck. Maybe that would be a good adventure.
That would be a really good one.
Yeah.
About the winter thing, one last thing that I was thinking of, because that was the blame for this. It's pothole season because of the expansion, because it's warm, it's cold, and yes, I get that. It's science. My nails haven't been lasting because of that either. Normally it's 3 weeks, and she goes, oh, it's because it's cold. And
no.
So they had to go for 2 weeks and still had to pay full price for. And I'm like, what the hell?
So you don't have winter nail
discounts or winter nail count? I don't know. Yeah.
Like a liability policy for your nails.
I guess not. But after getting them done, the lady with she always says, do you want your eyebrows done? And normally,
my lady said, do you want your lip done? I was like,
well, normally when they do that, that's when I'm like, I'm just not tipping as much.
Yeah, right.
But this time, the lady said that, and I was like, oh, you think they need done? Like, 'cause I draw them on.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang.
Here's an extra
Here's
tip.
an extra tip, lady.
Yes.
So, yeah, winter nails and
winter roads.
Yeah.
Well, so I think, if you go down, I think it's Monroe between 18th and 14th or something, 16th. It's a beautiful street. Beautiful.
But there's a couple in there?
No, they've redone it. So no potholes to be found.
Well,
so that proves my point. Like, just redo some roads.
Just redo the whole street?
Well, and I know that costs a shit ton of money, but if you have a certain street that's, it's traveled a lot, Broadway, 18th Street. I think Broadway is state funded, actually.
Yes,
so we need to tap that budget, I guess. But let's say 18th Street, that's a very highly traveled road. Maybe we should look into redoing it.
Yes.
If it'll help. I don't know all the science behind it, but I'm tired of I'm tired of potholes just like everybody else. I'm also tired of talking about it. So it's like, let's just fix it.
Yes.
Fix the problem.
I agree.
Yeah.
And in regards to that, one last thing in the story, the mayor did say, you don't just say the street. You got to give a close address if possible. But yeah, you're right. It's not the whole, because we're not redoing the whole street. We're just filling a hole. But yeah, if you do have a pothole, make sure you tell your alderman the specific
Well, we need an app where you can just like drop a... I think maybe I saw that from somebody. Sorry if I'm stealing it, but where you like on Waze is like it's a phone app that you can say, "Oh, car on the side of the road. Oh, there's an officer here," and you can just like drop a pin.
I think ours would be a little overloaded though.
Oh my gosh, you wouldn't be able to.
The server
it'd just be like red.
Yeah,
it'd just be a red,
the giant red dot
map. Yeah. Oh well. There we go. We can complain about black holes, potholes, and everything else, right?
Yeah.
Well, I am so excited to hear and to read your story.
Yeah, it'll be coming up soon. It's kind of a 217 day special. Yes. Yeah.
Excellent. I can't wait. I'm really excited. All right, on that note, I think that does it for today's
Coffee Talk.
We'll catch you back here next time.
Muddy River News. Our home, our news.